Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you tonight?
I'm fine.
Good. Thank you for coming back. It's nice to see you again. You're looking well. All right. Did you get a chance to look at any landscape paintings? Or, oh, did you find out what calligraphy means? Calligraphy we talked about.
Oh yeah, calligraphy. Yeah, I know this word. Yeah, it's the Chinese character, right? How to write. But I'm not into it. When I was a kid, I practiced a lot. My father actually instructed me to do that, to practice.
Really?
But I don't
Oh.
like that. I don't have the gifts on this field.
Yeah. It takes a lot of concentration and
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Interesting. So, what else did he try to make you do? I mean, did he try to interest you in what other things?
Do you mean my father?
Yeah, music or reading or
No, no.
I'm so glad you've got someone giving you books. This is great. Are you reading them in English and how is it going?
It's written in English, and the book, the name of that mystery is Latin Beach.
Mhm.
It describes how the crime happens. It has something to do with the drug dealer, and somebody was dead on the beach, and the detective tried to investigate this crime. So the story, happened.
Right. And you're liking it? Are you enjoying it?
Uh, it has six parts.
Really?
In,
Okay.
in, the, in the beginning, I'm struggling. I'm not familiar with the way the author trying to describe, for example, the scenery, the emotions of the characters. But fourth part, I think I could enjoy it because I'm familiar with the vocabulary. I'm familiar with the characters. Uh,
Oh, good. So the fourth chapter, is that like halfway through? No.
Halfway through, it has passed the middle of.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
That sounds very cool. Have you figured out on your own the how it worked? How the crime worked?
I still have no idea what is who committed the crime. The author brings about some romance between the
Ah,
male character and the female character, like their lips met each other, something like that. But I like that.
yeah, of course, everybody does. I like that too. That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, you're definitely in the right place doing the right thing, I'll tell you that. So tell me about your other English teacher. How do you like her? She good?
For the past year, I I only have one tutor. Her name is Nancy. She is Jewish, and but she's very smart. She have read
Oh,
thousands of books
uh-huh.
in her spare time, and she started as a nurse after the graduation from the college in Montreal, and she was a nurse initially, and she climbed the ladder very hard, worked very hard, and then she became a supervisor. I think in a hospital like Jewish General Hospital or General Jewish Hospital. I forgot the name of that hospital. And after working many years, she started a business. That business like introduced the nurses to the families who
Ah, okay.
and yeah, she's familiar with this field, and
Uh-huh.
uh, she had she has three daughters, and when she was 35 or 34 years old, she got divorced with her husband, and and then after many years, I think 8 years or 7 years, she got married with this the current spouse. they spend the rest of their lives together. Maybe 20
Oh,
or 30 years. They are actually partners. Both of them started the business and they helped each other. And I think they are leading a very good life. Yeah.
that's very interesting. So I think you have a close connection with the tutor. Sounds good.
Sure, sure. She published two books on Amazon. I've read that book. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What were her books about? Nursing and caregiving with family?
One book is her memoir. The name is
Ah,
Put the Pieces Together. Put the Pieces Together.
Pull the
And
Pieces Together is I'm writing this is the name of the memoir.
oh yeah, and then another one is a mystery. The
Uh-huh.
name is Looking Over Her Shoulder. Looking over.
Okay.
Yeah, she likes the mystery, this novel,
Yeah.
but I myself like the memoir. It's a true
You like
story because I can learn something from her. She's a tough woman. And I want to ask you one question. In North America, is anti-Semitic popular in North America?
I don't know if it's popular, but it happens.
Oh yeah, yeah. She
It
came across many problems that has something to do with this. I think the racial problems is very popular. I never thought she would run into some troubles.
it's a nasty prejudice. Yeah, well, yeah, it's very real and it's exacerbated. Here's a big word for you, EX. I'm not even going to try it. It's made worse by the situation with the Israelis and the Palestinians. Okay? Because the United States is about the only country who gives carte blanche. So carte blanche means a white card, which means anything you want to the Israeli government. Carte blanche. It's actually a French word. So the United States really supports Israel.
Oh
There
yeah,
are a lot of people who don't think that's too cool. And I'm sorry she has endured those prejudices. That's too bad.
yeah. It's
Was
very hard. It's very hard. Some of her colleagues, don't want to cooperate with her group. So sometimes her work cannot go on. So she has to quit her job, and eventually she started her business. Yeah, with her
mhm.
husband. But all of them, ex-spouse and she and the current spouse, all of them are Jewish. I think they don't want to get married with the other races. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They're very insular. So yeah, so they sort of stick together,
yeah, yeah,
and because they celebrate different holidays too. Um, so they have Hanukkah, which comes around the time we have Christmas, which is also around the time of Tad or the Lunar New Year. So for some reason, all these religions, all these cultures have a celebration around the solstice for some, it's just that's the way it works out. But the prejudice, I think, stems from the fact, Jews have endured prejudice for hundreds of years. They were never allowed to own property in Europe. They
mm,
were the businessmen, the money makers.
yeah.
And then they built Las Vegas, and then they built Hollywood.
Yeah.
So it was more and more and more money. So, yeah, it's a pity. But in my family, we're Italian from Italy. So I'm like third generation already. Yeah, first generation. My parents were second. So I'm third. So my nieces and nephews are fourth, and the grandchildren, my sister's grandchildren, are fifth. So we've been here for a long time. But in the beginning, my grandfather, who was a bricklayer, this was like at the turn of the 1900s. He was a builder.
The constructor, right?
Exactly. And
Mhm.
his special skill was laying bricks.
Oh yeah.
So that's very tough. So it was a tough life. So he went on and he eventually started a construction company.
Oh, good, good, very good.
So that was good. So my dad really didn't have to work, but he wasn't rich enough to do nothing, but he was rich enough that he could do what he wanted. So he became a pharmacy professor.
Pharmacy. Okay.
Yeah. So he became that. And my mom, who was also from an Italian family, her parents were first generation. So they came over here around 1920, 1930. They had 5 children, and all of them went to college. And my grandfather on that side was a tailor. He made clothes for people.
Mm-mm.
And my grandmother stayed home and cooked for everybody. She lived to be about 102 years old.
Okay.
Um, and my mom was a chemistry teacher. She might even have been a little smarter than my dad. I don't remember because she died when I was 11 years old.
Oh, this sad. I'm sorry. When you
Well,
were
thank you.
11 years old. Okay. Chemistry teacher.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of memories of her. She had cancer. And things were different back then. Nobody talked about it. It wasn't like your friends your sister who is a caregiver, they talk about things. It wasn't like that. So I didn't know her very well. She was okay. She taught me some good stuff, taught me how to sew and things like that. Um, so then I, reaping all the benefits of everybody who worked so hard, did not grow up with a great deal of money, but grew up with people around me having an attitude that smart is better. Okay. So if you could be an intellectual,
Mm-mm. I know that word. Yeah.
yeah, okay. It's kind of like an intellectual. So that was a good thing because at the time there were celebrity intellectuals in America. You know the word celebrity?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
famous person. Yeah.
Right. So these intellectuals were pretty famous because they not only wrote books, but they were philosophers
Mm-mm.
and they talked about things that you never hear anything about today. You know, they would talk about world politics. They would talk about the creative arts. And then I don't know what happened in America. It just fell flat on its face. And now nobody can talk about anything. I mean,
Oh,
there are people on TV who are news anchors and they just read the news. I don't think there's anybody really analyzing it the way people used to. Now, I was just a young girl when the celebrity intellectuals were around. But as I grew up, that was what was told to me, that it was very good to think about things, to be smart, to try to enjoy the opera, to try to read books, to try to enjoy classical music. I, of course, loved rock and roll best of all. but that was the goal, for us to be well educated and smart. So we were rich in that way, very rich in that way.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
You you have something in common with Nancy, my another tutor on Cambly. She lost her mother when she was 5 years old.
Ooh.
It's very very sad, you know.
Yeah, it's something you never really get over, you know.
She just tell she was telling me it's very hard when she was from um, 11 or 15 years old. She it's not appropriate to ask her father some questions has something to do with the female. I don't know what kinds of questions. Maybe
I
you know.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. I understand. Well, yeah, that's true too. What's a father to do? You know, like my dad raised me and my sister. He never remarried. I don't know, maybe her father remarried. But and the other thing is that the other kids treat you differently. You're
yeah,
weird. You're weird. You've got
yeah. Other kids would look down upon her, because she doesn't have a mom. Yeah, that's weird. It's very sad.
yeah, yeah, they just close off and think that you're strange, and part of it is the age, that they haven't really processed what death is, but the other part of it is the American approach to death. Like, I don't know how it is in China, but in America, it's like they have big funerals, but it's like nobody wants to talk about it, you know?
Okay.
So, anyway, so that's life. That's the way it goes sometimes.
Mm-mm.
Uh,